Well, welcome everyone to Steve Savant's Money, the Name of the Game. I'm your host, Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and money color commentator. On today's show, Medicare and Military Veterans, part 3 in our series on Medicare Supplement Drug Plans with author, speaker, and nationally recognized Medicare expert, attorney Sylvia Gordon. Welcome to our show, Sylvia.
Thank you.
Well, Sylvia, I want to talk about the military, and thank you for your service, everyone out there. I'm always interested in military benefits. We did shows on this before and everything else. I never really put in my mind, oh yeah, how does that relate back to Medicare? And you say it does in a big way. Walk me through what the issues are for military vets and their enrolling in Medicare.
So I was a military spouse for 30 years, and my father-in-law was also a retired lieutenant colonel. So I'm very passionate about this from an agent point of view and from a spouse. When somebody is eligible for VA Medicare, they're all excited. They're like, hey, I served, I earned it, and it's not free. It could be free depending on what level you qualify for. But then they say, that's all I want. And like my father-in-law said, he said, I don't want private insurance. I earned this. This is what I want. And I have a lot of clients that do that too. Well, maybe not. How close do you live to a VA treatment facility? So if, you know, in my father-in-law's case, it was over an hour away. An hour's not far, unless you're sick. And the older you get, the harder it is to drive. And if you have to go on a highway. So that, just the fact that you have free care an hour away might not be that free, right? So you can get private insurance that won't knock out your VA insurance. They don't work together. So you could get Medicare Advantage, and you could use it to go anywhere you want at any time. So he could, I sold him a Med Advantage so he could go to a doctor 1 mile from his house anytime he wanted. And he can pay those copays. They don't work together. So you can't say, well, I'm a vet, so I need you to waive all these copays. No, you buy the private insurance and you pay the copays on a Med Advantage. But a Medicare Advantage, the one I sold him, and they're available in most parts of the country, was 0 premium. So if he didn't use it, it didn't matter. But he had it in his back pocket. He preferred to go to the VA, okay? He wanted to go to the VA, and he could get his drugs from the VA. So he didn't want to get his drugs through the Medicare Part D. Well, I said, hey, look, the VA doesn't cover every drug in the world. They have their own list of drugs. And if you can get them there, great. But if your doctor prescribes you a new drug, you know, one of the ones that were just approved, the really expensive brand name drugs, it might not be covered by the VA. Then you can go use your private insurance and you can get that drug. So this is, and like I said, a 0 premium plan. If you don't use it, you don't pay for it. So it was a beautiful, put them together.
Well, let's just make sure I just want to say one thing just because of our veterans out there. First of all, there is a huge block of veterans where the VA is not free. I mean, let's just talk about that just to make sure, hey, heads up. So, you know, Medicare Advantage could be a play, right, or a supplemental plan. So that alone. And the ones that can qualify for it is free, but sometimes I'm trying to get into the VA now. And so there's scheduling problems. Or you said, hey, it's an hour away. I need to see somebody in the next 24, 48 hours. So there's reasons for Medicare for veterans, and they need to figure out how to correlate the benefits because they don't interact, but there's a way to maybe help them correlate so you can use them both.
So you get your Medicare card. You don't need Medicare to go into the VA, okay? So you have your Medicare card, that's for outside the VA, and you have your VA, which is for inside the VA. Now, technically, you're allowed to get a referral out of the VA. Well, good luck on that. I mean, there's so much scandal surrounding the VA at all times. So I say for all intents and purposes, if you're going to have VA, intend to get your care in the VA. And if you can get out to a specialist, beautiful, but that's easier said than done. With your private insurance, boom, you can go right now. Right now, my husband needs to have surgery on his hand. They only have the specialist come into the VA once a month, and he had trouble with that specialist, so he wants a different specialist. So he spent 18 months trying to get this surgery, where if he does on his private insurance, he could get it scheduled this week, right? So this, he'll have a copay. This is free, but he spent 18 months trying to get free. So I don't want to cut on the quality of care and the ease of getting care in the VA because I'm a big supporter of the VA. But you don't have to take my word for the problems around the quality and the ease of getting care. Just go to the internet. Just read the newspaper any day.
As a pro in Medicare, could you suggest that most of our veterans should look at least the Advantage plan with their military benefits?
That's what I'm a supporter of, is Med Advantage, not a Medicare Supplement, because Medicare Supplement is expensive. So you're going to have some money. And if you have money to afford a Med Sup, chances are you're not getting free VA anyway, although you could. But I like the Med Advantage, especially if you can get a 0 premium or a low premium, because if you don't use it, you don't pay for it.
Right.
No harm, no foul.
How many of our vets know that they should be using at least that minimum backdrop or a backup?
The problem I found with the vets is they don't know this, and they don't want to know this, that they're hard-headed. You know, we've done a lot of seminars at VFWs all around the country, and a lot of them are like, look, I served, I'm getting it free, and I'm not going to pay for something because I deserve free. And it's like, this is not going to cost you. You know, this is a 0 premium. So it's hard to tell them, listen to me, you don't have to use it, just buy it anyway. Now, maybe it's not a 0 premium where they live. Then it's not as easy equation. Maybe it's $20 a month, and they don't want to pay $20 a month. I get that. But I love the freedom it gives them to get care now where they want to get it and not be in the VA system that can take so long to get care.
Well, I'll make sure that this segment for sure goes out to all our military channels, because this is a huge issue to bring up. And I think there are people that are going to sit there and say, I didn't know I didn't have any premiums on Medicare Advantage. I like the ability to have a backstop in case I can't get to the VA. I like that idea.
Right.
To me, that's just financially sound. That's good thinking. Now, in your military experience, your husband, military, his dad, military, when you look at people like this that are in your family, these people are where they... You said some of them resist. Your family didn't, but people that you bring this up...
Oh, my family resists. Your family are going to be the worst people you ever deal with, right?
So they're resisting this.
Yeah, everybody resists.
Because they think that they're free, and that's the biggest mythology out there probably, for most.
And they're afraid they're giving up something, that they're giving up something with their VA benefits by taking private benefits too. Plus, they worked all those years for retirement so they could have that free health care for life, so they feel like, what? Why am I turning my back on it? You're not. You can't take your Medicare card into the VA, and you can't take your VA card, for all intents and purposes, outside, but you can have them both, and you can pick and choose. So maybe you have some disease that the best specialist is in Houston, and you want to go to that guy. You don't want to go to the guy here in your local VA treatment center. Your private insurance might give you that opportunity.
So it's really good, though, to investigate this before you make your final decision all in. Now, I like this ability of using both government programs, the Medicare Advantage, and then, of course, on the other side, the vet benefits that they have they've earned. So when we talk about this, if you have more information, you can ask Sylvia, call her, and we'll have the numbers up on our board. I want you to really make sure you're doing the right thing and walk this through with agents that actually know what we're talking about.
And if you have questions, you can ask me in the comments below. I'll respond to you personally, or you can email me if you give me your email in the comments, and I'll respond to you outside of YouTube to your private email.
Well, don't forget to watch our next segment on Medicare Supplement Plan F. I didn't even know it was going to be around. Part 4 in our series on Medicare Supplement and Drug Plans. And keep in mind, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always check with your tax consultant, legal counsel, or your financial advisor. You've been watching Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game.